Well, I don't think that Italy is ranking number 1 or 2 in this discussion on the global risk, because there is a strong general worry about the risk of EU weakening its position in the next months, number 1. And number 2, we have several risks connected to the international trade agreements, the international trade situation. But in this framework, I perceived also the idea of the fact that such an important country as Italy is could become also a risk, because both of the political impact of a so-called populist government and of the financial risk in our next budget law. So I think we have to continue this discussion.
And you agreed a set of budget deficit levels, in fact a balanced budget in 2020 with the European Commission when you were Prime Minister. This present government will not get anywhere near to those levels, and that's the understanding, and that is not even the most pessimistic scenario. Do you believe the Economy Minister, Mr. Tria, will manage to keep within anywhere near the agreed levels with the European Commission on the Italian budget in 2019? And I guess the key figures here are 2% might be acceptable to European partners, 3% breaches limits.
Yeah, I am rather confident, and in any case I hope that Minister Tria will have a chance to maintain our budget law within the European framework. You know, the European framework has always showed, not only towards Italy, but towards all countries, a certain degree of flexibility. So when you write 2% and then it is 2.3, this is something already happened in the past and that could happen now. But the risk is that we have an enormous difference between what was promised in the electoral campaign from the two populist parties that are now governing Italy and what they are able to deliver with a budget law maintaining a balance in the European framework. So either they say, okay, we promised something but we are not able to deliver, either they take a decision on the budget that can be a very risky one. I hope that they will recognize the reality and have a reasonable budget.
So just let me get this right, sir. If Mr. Salvini and Mrs. Di Maio, who are the power men here, the deputy prime ministers, if they enact their manifestos, flat taxes, universal salaries, no VAT rise next year, reversal of the Fornero laws from 2011 as well, if they enact their promises to a population which rejected the PD, then we have a real crisis in Italy.
I think we have an enormous risk, but I don't think that this risk now is possible, because I think that in only 3 months they understood, and the reality pushed them to understand that this is not possible. So they will try a form of compromise between their promises and what they will deliver. I think that they raised, frankly, too many expectations on the people. So people that voted for the five-star movement and for the Lega are expecting some of the fantastic promises they received in the electoral campaign. They will not have it. They will not have it. Because if they will have it, Italy will be in a very dangerous position, and I frankly do hope that also the business community, the trade unions, all the social world in Italy is pushing against a crazy budget law. A crazy budget law would be a big risk for Italy.
And for the broader Europe as well, and for the broader European project?
Also, because obviously Italy is now the third European economy, and a crisis of reputation, of financial reputation of our country in the international markets, because the problem is not the rules of Brussels. It is how neglecting the rules of Brussels have an impact in your reputation in the international markets. And this is what happened already in the first 3 months of this government. We had, in fact, no decision from the government, but economic and financial consequence, without decisions. So I think that the consequences for Europe could be serious, but I repeat, I am confident that at the end of the day, what is all the social Italian environment is asking for will prevail and will create a more reasonable situation. I'm not sure, but I hope.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.